Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. A little public service announcement. Leave no trace. It's not that hard to do. And this goes up to the lazy mother effers out there. Today was a moving day for me. I went from Taylor Pond to Buck Pond, got my camper all set up there. We're under a severe thunderstorm warning and have been most of the day, so it's been cloudy, rainy, sunny, windy, everything. So instead of going out in the water and getting caught, I decided, since I like the free camping areas and like to keep them, I'll go be a trash man today, because there's always some dickhead that leaves their trash all around. So I am currently on Jones Pond, and this is one of the empty sites I just rolled up to, and this is not bag number one. This is bag number two. Bag number one sitting there in the back of my truck. So if you enjoy the free camping areas, pick your crap up and take it out with you. And also, would you stop hammering on the damn trees? You know, someone these days, you're gonna hammer on these trees, take an axe to it, not gonna knock it down, and then that night the wind will blow it on your tent and kill you. So leave no trace. That's my public service announcement. Alright folks, so today was got back to my camper. Today was a bridge day where I decided to go out to the free camping areas around here. I promote leave no trace, so I went out to there was 10 sites I went to. 3 of them were paddle up sites, 7 of them were drive up sites, and picked up trash. Got 2 bags of trash. They got what, 55 cents worth of cans for my effort. And but also that goes with that, you know, I put out these videos of you know, traveling around with my RV, and you know, it's not all fun and glory. So over the past 4 days, this is some of the things that have happened. The other day, as I was coming back from paddling, I went by a tree that was laying down in the water that had a wasp nest in it, and I got stung a few times in my arm, I think once in that arm, and I didn't have the camera on. I didn't bother to stop to turn it on either. And I got back to the site, and my solar didn't produce the way I had hoped, because I've been in canopy now. As you can see, this is Buck Pond. I was at Taylor Pond before this, and I was in canopy there. I was in Warrensburg before that, and I was in heavy canopy there. So my solar has not been performing. This is day 12, so all days I've been in canopy, so my solar is finally catching up, because last night my safe mode kicked on when the batteries hit 50%. It shuts things down in the camper, and I started shutting things down. So that's why you hear my little Honda going, and trials and tribulations with the Honda. I went to start the Honda, ran for about 10 minutes and shut off. Low oil. Good thing I carry oil with me. But in this trek here, I happen to be carrying my little Champion too, so if I didn't have oil, I had a backup anyways. I don't normally carry both generators. I only did it because I made the Champion video on this trip out. But yeah, it has been the last 4 days with the solar not operating and cutting power in the camper. I had to go into last night. My backup power system is with my Jackeries, so I had to use my Jackeries last night for the power anything that I needed powering, plus my USB plug in my camper that I charge my phone on and I charge my camera batteries on. That quit working. I'm gonna have to tear that apart when I get home and find out why. I think the way the plug feels, it feels like they're not making a connection in there, so it might be a plug issue. But yeah, it's not always fun and games out here. You know, you see the videos of YouTubers putting out, and it's all, they're in the fun in the sun, and they're having so much fun. Yeah, you just have those days where things just don't work the way you want them to work. But yeah, fun. I'm hoping the generator gives me a little bit of charge. My batteries are 5 years old. I'm on battery system 90% of the time, so they are lead acid batteries. Their normal age is 5 to 8 years, depending on how well you take care of them. I tried my best to take care of them, but they are 5 years old, so they might be now just starting to show their age a little bit. So we'll see how things go tonight. All right, folks, welcome back. I just wanted to give a quick update on the solar situation. I was reviewing my footage here on my last stop, and I wanted to answer a couple of questions that I know I'm going to get. The solar wasn't operating the best on my last couple of stops because of the canopies. Taylor Pond and Buck Pond is where I was, and they, the canopy from the trees, the leaves, just did not have good solar. So what I meant when I said that my power shut off was how I have it in here. The inverter, once I hit a certain voltage on my batteries, the inverter shuts off. The lights will still work in the camper. The other stuff will still work, the normal stuff you get in the camper, like your slide motor, your water pump, your lights. All that stuff will still have power to it, whether they function or not on such a low battery. The inverter will shut down at 11.8 volts. That is about 50%. That's to protect the battery, to keep from draining it down further. That is number one. Number two, on my video where I had the generator running, I know this picture up here, I'm going to get a couple of questions about how the table is positioned. There's a story behind that, and the story was the night before I got back from paddling about 6:45. Now, where the campground that I was at, the generators need to be shut off by 7, and it was a Friday night, so there was a lot of activity going on in the campground that night. I was maybe about 80 yards from the caretaker's cabin, and so the next closest site to me was probably about 50 yards away from me, and I was tucked back into the trees a little bit. So anyways, when I got back, I wanted to make my dinner up, so I started up my Honda generator that I had. It would be on this side, and the road would have been on this side. And so about 7:04, 7:05, kid came down through on the cart and stopped and came over, and as we were standing basically almost next to the generator, within 10 feet of the generator, he told me that the generator hours ended at 7. I would need to shut the generator off. Now, mind you, up the road is the next site. Nobody was there at that site. But the next place is the caretaker cabin. There was about 5 vehicles parked alongside the road. They had the music going. I could hear people talking, laughing. And it wasn't a big party type thing. It was, they probably had a get together. I mean, it was over by 10 o'clock, so it wasn't it's not a big deal to me. But this kid was just doing his job, so I don't have any hard feelings or anything towards the kid. He was just doing what he's supposed to do. So I asked him, I said, can I leave it running for another 5 minutes max so I can finish up making my dinner? And he kind of was like, and I did say, I said, we're standing within 10 feet of a generator running, this Honda generator, and we can clearly hear the caretaker's cabin up the road. And I said, you can give me 5 more minutes. And he goes, okay, 5 more minutes. So I only needed 2-3 more minutes, and then I shut the generator off. I know the rules are supposed to be, say, 7. So if you guys are posting down below, say, well, it's supposed to be shut off at 7. Yes, you are correct. But with the functions going on in that campground, Jack's behind me here, laying down in the couch. But with the functions going on in the campground, leaving the generator running for 10 minutes over was not going to be a big deal. I didn't think. Well, anyways, the next day is when I started having the power issues in the camper. And so I noticed that the next night that the crews pulled up in front of my camper, which was about 20 yards off the road. They would stop their vehicle, shut it off, and they would sit there and listen right at 7 o'clock at night. And they would sit there and they would look at my camper. You could see them talking back and forth. And then they would sit there for about 45 seconds. And then they would start up and go. And I'm like, now I'm on a list, apparently. So I took the generator, the Honda generator, from this side where the road is and moved it to this side, ran the cord underneath the camper. And I took the table that I have out in front of the camper and put it down as like a shield behind the generator. Not so I could run it after hours, just so I could run it without the generator police pulling up in front of my site, sitting there looking at their watch, waiting until right to the second to tell me to shut it off. So I know the rules. That day that I had the generator running, I had the table just as a noise shield to keep the generator running. I didn't run it past hours, so that day. But now that I am on to my next track, it is more open here. It's about 11 o'clock at night, and it's more open here. And after a day in the sun with the solar panels, my batteries are back to 13.6 volts. And looking pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with that. I was kind of worried that it was the batteries. Might be showing their age because they are 5 years old. They're lead acid batteries. Trojan says they last 4 to 6 years, but most people I've talked to said 5 to 8 if you take good care of them. I try to take good care of them. So that's why in this picture you'll see the table is turned onto its side. I know I'm going to get that question of why that's like that, but alright folks, you watched all the way through. Thanks for that. If you liked the video, make sure to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, click the subscribe button down below. Continue to follow the adventure. And remember, folks, tomorrow is no guarantee for any one of us. So disconnect from that Wi-Fi, connect to this out here. You won't be disappointed.